firstly, can we just get an update on injuries? Whereabouts are we with Paul Hanlon and Ryan McGivern?
Well, Paul and Ryan will be missing from the game on Sunday. Paul's probably the better of the two, but as we don't have a game after the Celtic match, then we have a 2-week gap where hopefully both players will get over their injuries and be available for the Wraith Rovers game. So they may have to miss this one game in an effort to get back into first team action and not be troubled by their respective injuries. But it's a blow for us, but it gives other people an opportunity. We have to rejig things around and we'll see what happens and with the rest of the squad. But Danny Hanley's back in training. He plays in an under-20s match on Wednesday night at St Mirren, so that's a good sign. And if we can add 1 or 2 players to the squad before Sunday, that'll be a boost for everyone too.
What was the problem with Danny?
He just got a burst of like a bruise, like a sac of fluid on his heel through new boots. He had some new boots which are no longer with him. I think they're in the bin, so he's thrown them away, and he's had to sort of treat that. But he couldn't get a boot on, couldn't get a shoe on very easily, and we just have to let time take its effect on that particular injury as well. So it's disappointing, and it's just one of these things that happens. But with young boys in particular, they're sometimes not aware of tight boots or new boots, or the damage that can be done.
Obviously, boots have changed a lot since your playing days. Do you think they've changed for the better or for the worse?
I think they've changed for the worse. They seem a lot thinner now. They're a lot more expensive, of course. But back in my days, about 100 years ago, we used to get some of our young players or our apprentice players to break the boots in, because I'm a size 11 and I would normally have size 10 or 9.5 boots where, because the leather stretches, you get the young boys to wear them early on, stretch the material, and therefore you can just have them after they've been worn for a little while and they're ready to go. But there was no one when I was at Ipswich. There was no one that was a size 11 or a little bit smaller, so I had to break my own boots in and make sure that they were fine. So my toes got a bit crunched up. But in those days, you put dubbing on the boots as well to stretch them, some soft soap inside and all these kind of things. But nowadays, it's you wear them straight out of the box and put them on, and they probably last about 1 or 2 matches, and you got to bring some more out. But they're very expensive now, and the protection that the boots get is not as good as it was.
Just looking then at the reaction to the disappointment on Saturday, I know you were bitterly disappointed, especially with the opening half hour. What kind of reaction have you seen from the players, and how have you discussed it with the team?
Well, we had some cake and some tea and coffee on Monday, as we normally do, whether we win, draw or lose, and the players were very honest and gave forth their opinions and talked through things, and I think it was good to get a few things off our chests. And when you look at the game, and I've looked at the game again, the first half an hour is the worst we've been for some time. So there are times in matches and times during the season when you get games like that. But it's how you, I've always said, it's how you react, not so much after the game. But we had a chance at half time to say 1 or 2 things and move 1 or 2 things about, and it was a lot better in the second half. So we got an immediate reaction from that, and then coming in on the Monday and having the discussion we did, then going out to training after that, gave the players a chance to really get it out of their system, which they've done. And the training this week so far has been excellent. It really has. It's the highest tempo we've had for some time. And I think because it's Celtic on Sunday, because of what happened in the first half against St Mirren, the players are now very keen to extremely keen to get back out there and play again, and show people that we are a good team and we are good players. And just because we have a poor half an hour in a match doesn't make us a bad team or make us any worse than what we are.
How hard is it, Terry, when the continuity of the side is just broken up without any kind of rhyme nor reason? Obviously the injury to Paul Hanlon, then Ryan McGivern getting injured early on, and now obviously Scott Robertson's going to be suspended for Celtic. Do you feel this is now the most challenging period of your tenure so far?
Well, it's all a challenge. I mean, sometimes you have decisions to make on tactics as well, and I have changed a winning team before when everyone's available here at Hibs. So change is sometimes a good thing. Change gives other people opportunities. Change gives people a chance to say, well, look, someone new's in, someone's different in, I've got to work harder at trying to forge an understanding. So it can have a really positive effect on the team, and I think that's what we're looking at, trying to implement that positivity and making sure that everyone's really up for it, and making sure that we combat the loss of certain players and encourage the younger ones or the new ones that come in. So it gives other people opportunities, but also tests the the strengths of those that are in the team and have been in the team for some time. So I think it can be really positive for the side if there are changes. We can't affect the changes. The changes are there with injuries, of course, suspension to Scott. We have to get on with it. Simple as that. And I think when you just roll your sleeves up even more and make sure that you apply yourself even more, whether it be us as a management team or the players, and have a real good go. Plus, you're playing Celtic as well, so it doesn't matter who we're playing this weekend. The players just dying to get back out there and play. But you're playing Celtic, and if you're not together and if you don't have all the strengths that I've said before, then Celtic have got a history of demolishing teams and scoring lots of goals. So we don't want that to happen because it's been very tight with Celtic so far this season. But we want to have a go and see what happens.
Have the injuries increased the sense of urgency to get players in and get deals over the line, Terry?
Well, it's not so much increased the urgency. I think you're working to a final point when January ends, so you know that after that then you can't get players in and players can't go out. So there's a finite point where that does happen, but we're working towards that. And so I think the more that gap closes and the more you're getting closer to that finite point, then the more urgent it becomes. Well, it doesn't really, because we're still looking at players and we're still making phone calls and speaking to people and seeing players. Steve's watching players down south as we speak. So there's a I can say not an urgency, but a keenness from our point of view to get things done as soon as we possibly can, to get players bedded in with the squad. And if we can do that before Sunday, then all well and good. If not, then we'll get them in next week and make sure that they're bedded in then for the Wraith Rovers game, which is in 3 weeks' time. So there's still plenty of work to be done with players coming in, but sometimes a player coming in before a big game can have an impact on us too. And we certainly think that it'll be good for the squad. It'll freshen things up, and with the fans as well, they're talking about the new guy or new guys settling in and what they're going to be like and all these kind of things as well. So we know all about that. We've done it before, but at the same time we want to make sure it's the right people that we do bring in too.